Hey there everybody, Brian is my name. In this video I want to show you around this car here, which is a really nice one. Honda Civic, 182 horsepower VTEC turbo. And this one is what's called an S design model. In this video I'm going to show you around all the features that are on the inside and the outside of the car, and we're going to go for a drive in this really cool car as well. This particular example, we know the car really well. It was originally owned by Honda Ireland, which is the importer of the vehicles, and then we actually sold it to the second person that had it then. And he's traded it in for pretty much the exact same car as well, again, just moving up a little bit in the years. And I suppose that's always a good indication that he was happy with the vehicle. I think the car looks really well in this Rally Red. Rally Red was one of the most popular colours in this model of Civic. And the previous owners put two nice little touches on the car just to match the colour, with these nice Type R red badges on the front and also on the rear of the car as well. I think it looks really well because this car is a red colour on the outside, and if you notice, everything all around this car is red and black, and that's the whole theme on these. There's no chrome, it's nice contrast, red or black. These 1.5s as well, they stand out a little bit more than their 1.6 diesel or 1 litre counterparts, and the reason is simple things like I love the headlights on these cars. So they're all LED parker, LED dip, LED full and indicator, which I think just give them that really nice classy upmarket look. And even things like, I love these on a car, headlight washers. You always see them on kind of higher end prestige cars. The front fog lights, they're also LED as well, so there's nice light and they look pretty nice. And then see these little skirts, they're nice gloss black. What I mean by gloss black is they're kind of shiny and reflective, so they protrude much more aggressively on a 1.5. The car also has those really nice 17-inch diamond cut wheels. Diamond cut again being a shiny reflective finish. They look really nice. And then down the side of the car, see the gloss black here, gloss black all the way down the side, which is a nice skirt, but it also matches the wheel style and gets a little bit more aggressive towards the end. And if you follow around to the rear, there is another gloss black section along here, so that matches everything that we've seen so far. And one other thing as well, they don't have any chrome around the windows. If you look at a 1 litre or a diesel, it'll always have chrome in the window, whereas these 1.5s don't. And it just pulls everything together really nicely. And even things like the way the windows are dark tinted on the back, they look nice, but they're actually pragmatic. We'll see that in a while. There's a colour coded spoiler up here. There's a black spoiler to match the taillights along here. Quite aerodynamic actually. This pulls air down along the back and out through here in an aerodynamic fashion. Like the front, we saw already that there was LED headlights in the front, and these ones have LED taillights on the rear as well. And the man that used to own this car, he was really good at keeping cars. He's traded in a few cars with us now. He looks after them really well. Simple thing like the exhaust on the rear. The car's done 50,000 kilometers. Sometimes I see cars with maybe 50, 60,000 kilometers, and the exhaust has just gone a little bit dark. Whereas this one, like it's really well looked after, and it is a feature off the back of the car. Like when you pull up behind one of these, you know it's something a bit unusual when it has the two pipes on the rear like that as well. A cool looking car. One of my favourite cars that we've ever sold here at the garage. Good power. Not that hard to run, like in terms of economy and servicing and stuff, but you're still getting over 180 horsepower, something a bit different. And they actually had a good spec, and there was good space in them that we'll see in a minute. They were just a really good all-rounder. I like Tresenti and Rally Red. I think this one looks really cool, and I like those badges that are on it as well, just to make it a little bit different than some of the other ones. The 1.5 engine that's in these, so it is a VTEC engine, if you were used to kind of Honda VTEC engines years ago, there was like cam movements that had changed, and they were on the intake and the exhaust, whereas these ones are exhaust only, and there's a turbocharger on it now as well, so it's very different. So it's a much torquier car than an older VTEC engine would have been. If you're watching from a different country on YouTube, some people used to kind of always ask, you know, what about oil dilution and stuff like that on these? We have never had a case of it here. Like we actually, and in this garage, there's never been a car here that had oil dilution. And we seem to get this question a lot from people watching in the States and other countries or whatever. So all I can say is we change our oil every 8,000 to 9,000 kilometers on these cars. We don't seem to get any oil dilution, so maybe it's something to do with the serving schedules on the countries that you're in, or maybe the temperatures or something like that, but we don't seem to get it here. So on the outside, I think you'll agree, it's a really cool looking car. Another thing I like in these, you know when you're driving behind them at night time, right? You have these big LED taillights either side, yeah, they look really cool. These little side markers along here, they just make the car a little bit wider looking, and it just reminds me of what Volvos used to have years ago when they came out. They had those side markers. Not many cars adopt them. I just think they're nice. They look cool from a style kind of point of view. And it's just one of those cars, if you pull up behind it at a traffic light, like you're saying to you, with a big exhaust in the rear, and it's not too loud. There's a little bit of a hum off it, just enough that you know you're in something special, but like it's not an age thing. Like look at me, I have so much grey hair, it's not even funny. And that's the kind of car I think you can still get into and not be worried about, am I too old to be driving this car? We get people from about 22 years of age up into their late 70s buying these 1.5s, So it's really mixed in terms of the gender and age demographic that we get on them. Anyway, what we're going to do is have a look at some of the features on the inside of the car, and then we're going to go for a drive in the car towards the end. So we have a Honda Civic at home, and the boot's gigantic. I mean, and we have a buggy that goes in the back, and one of the reasons that we bought a Civic, well, okay, for obvious reasons because of where I work, but one of the reasons we did actually buy one was because from a pragmatic point of view, it was a really big boot compared to some of the other hatchback cars that we sell here at the garage. So you have this cover that can be switched from one side to the other, but the beauty about that is you just pull that across. You don't have to, like some back trays, you'd have to take it out and leave it in the garage, whereas that one you can constantly carry with you, but it's actually pragmatic, and it's a really, really big boot. One point to note, at the time of this video, we have not cleaned the car yet, so the previous owner, he's really fussy in terms of how he looks after a car. He does a good job. So we haven't cleaned this car yet. We give it a quick wash, and I've done the video. That's kind of what's happened here, so it will actually be cleaner when somebody buys it, but you know, it's very, very presentable at the moment. Folding down the seats gives you a massive load area for those awkward trips, and then you can use one of two grab handles here to drop that down. And in terms of the rear, then the back doors, so there is a tweeter and a speaker, so there's 8 speakers overall, obviously rear electrics, child lock for the door and child lock for the windows then as well. And the rear privacy glass, something you learn when you have kids, it actually makes a difference when they're teeny weeny, stops the sun beating in on top of them. 3 head restraints, 3 3-point safety belts, eyes affix over here and over here. I've used one of these cars, geez. I've used one of these cars, sorry, we have one of these cars, we've had a few of these cars at home, 4 actually, and we're on our 4th one. And I just find the child seat really easy to work getting in and out of these, so it's quite a good family car that way. Sitting behind myself, I have good headroom's okay, and the legroom is pretty good as well. Headroom at the back at 6 foot, this is where you are. Yes, it'd be lovely if it was a little bit higher, but to be fair, this is a low to the ground sporty car. If headroom is super important to you for the rear passenger, then you might need to look at something SUV-ish, but at 6 foot, it's still usable. Moving up front then, there is tweeter again, another speaker down through here, electrics for windows and mirrors, folding mirrors from the button there, and we'll see the key does the same thing as well. Oh, sorry, actually one thing, while we're at it, totally forgot, there's an armrest with some drinks holders in the rear. Anyway, not a big thing. Aluminium pedals down low, height adjustable seat, lumbar support for your lower back in through here. These head restraints are anti-whiplash, so if you bring them forward, your head doesn't go as far backwards in the event of an accident if someone rear ends you. There is airbags on driver passengers, you'd expect. Big curtain one down along the side, and then the side of the seats over here as well. And all these doors have long side impact protection beams for side impact. To be fair, there's a ton of safety features on these cars, which we'll talk about just while we're driving. But okay, quick things, anti-lock brakes. But a function where basically if somebody stops in front of you and you don't touch the brake pedal under 50 kilometers an hour, the car will automatically try and stop you itself. There is things over here from the button, if you can see I'm engaging them there, and then what you got is lane keep assist, so I can basically have the car try and keep me within certain lanes. I can have a speed limiter, I can have adaptive cruise control, and I can have a speed limiter that's actually intelligent. What I mean by that, over here it tells you the current speed zone you're in, so I can set the speed limiter to obey that. So if I go into a 50 zone, it's going to try and slow me down and warn me and all that stuff. Really handy, especially if you're on the road a lot. While we're at it, because it's an automatic, I got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and there's also a sport function as well. And I have paddles, so I can go up and down through gears. So down 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I got slagged about this before online. So yes, when I say 7-speed, it is a CVT gearbox. A CVT gearbox basically monitors your throttle input and gives you engine revolutions that correspond to the amount of power or lack of that the computer thinks you want. But it also mimics gears, so it mimics gear changes up to 7 times. So you can be cruising in 7th, 6th. They're not actual gears, but the car will behave like they're gears. So that's what I mean by that. Yes, I do understand what a CVT gearbox is. Some lads were giving me abuse about it before, but fair enough, maybe I didn't explain it properly. In reverse then, the car will have a reverse camera with dynamic guidelines to tell you what direction you're going. And then it'll have parking sensors which make noise behind, so it actually shows up on the dash over here and it shows up on the camera. Or similarly, when I go forward, it'll also light up to tell me if I have a problem, front right, front left, or dead straight on. So over here, like we said, cruise control, and adaptive cruise control, by the way, means you can hit the cruise control, but if a car slows down in front of you, it'll automatically slow down. I've also got this trip information over here, so if I keep pressing this button here, average fuel, and next maintenance and radio information, and my favorite in here, a turbo boost gauge, so it tells you exactly how much boost the turbocharger is running. Do you need to know that? No. Is it fun? Yes. Automatic lights, automatic wipers which come on at rains, automatic lights that come on at night time, and they also dip when you meet traffic. Over here then there is a Honda Connect system, which basically is touch and swipe. Navigation is Garmin navigation up through there, that's standard, but you can also use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto if you want to use things like Google Maps and Spotify and all that kind of stuff as well. Phone and audio obviously down through there, and then in through here related to music there's HDMI if you want to play video, USB down through there, 12 volt outlet, and it gets another 12 volt outlet in through there as well. That is just the handbrake, and after that there's a little bit of storage, heating controls, so I've got climate in through here, different temperatures on each side of the car, left or right, and then the screen is touch or swipe. Anyway, I think the next thing we can do is go for a drive in the car. It'd be rude not to show you what this car is all about, and that's what's fun about these 1.5s. They look aggressive, but they drive good as well. There's 182 horsepower, so we'll go for a spin. In terms of driving these cars then, it's nice to be able to cruise in automatic. That is one thing that's nice about this car, and the cabin's really nice. If you watched my videos before, you know how much I like these cars anyway. The cabin is straightforward and easy to use, and then I suppose a lot of people ask on these CVTs in terms of shifting between drive and sport. So I can just pull back into a drive or sport mode. If you see along here, drive has a lower engine revolution. When I go to sport, it primes it and it ends up with a higher engine revolution. It's more ready to accelerate at that point. And the other thing then is I can also use the paddles here, and you can use that in either mode. So on the left hand side, I'm going down through gears, you know, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can see the D changing. Or I can go up the gears 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, yes, they're fake gears, but it makes it a little bit more aggressive in terms of driving, and I suppose there's more driving pleasure from that. They're really good. One thing I like about these automatics, they accelerate real fast, and the boost stays on the whole time. I think it actually feels quicker to the manual because you never go off boost when you're accelerating. Very, very quick car up to 100 kilometers an hour. Anyway, come try the car yourself, see what you think. Very, very seldom have I ever come across somebody that didn't love one. Anyway, that is our S-Design Turbo Automatic Honda Civic. If there's information you want on this car, Brian is my name, Fitzpatricks Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. Call, text or WhatsApp 086 843 1945 if you want more information about the car, or information on trading in your car or scrapping a car or whatever it is you want to know. Or if you're watching on YouTube and I've missed something you want to know about these cars, just let me know in the comment section below. A car like this will come with a warranty obviously, and a good pre-sale service will be done on the car as well. Anyway, hopefully the video is useful. Hopefully you like the car. Thanks for watching.